everybody, welcome back to day 2. We are hopefully going to get this engine back in. We spent yesterday cleaning everything else from this engine and taking it all off, giving it a little bit of a shine up and a paint. And we have a plethora of everything else on the floor, which we'll go through a little bit later. But hopefully today we should get everything back in here, do another 0 to 60 and see if it's any better. Okay, just a few photos of the engine because I've got to film it. But this engine was really not what we thought it was going to be. That's what you get, I guess, when you buy it off Facebook. But got told it was one thing, was completely opposite, was definitely not ready to go in a car and do what we wanted to do with it. Needed a lot of work. Everything needed to be changed, but we got it to where it is and really happy with it. And hopefully it gives us quite a lot of trouble-free miles driving around in this lovely looking Beetle. So let's get into it.
Fire away.
Oh, come on.
So we put your test light on the oil pressure.
That's awesome. That works well.
Just got me in the leg.
Sorry?
Just sprayed me in the leg with it.
Oh, your carby's good. There's leaks everywhere. Oh, come on. Way too much. Fine. So we have everything else here that we've pulled off, either new stuff up the end, so new fan shroud to go with a doghouse shroud, which gives us extra cooling out the back, rather than at factory it blows onto cylinder 3. Now it's going to blow out that back and hopefully keep the engine a bit cooler. So new back piece for the tinware, and then everything else is pretty much just cleaned up from what we pulled off, other than a few other little bits and pieces. And then a new exhaust. It was actually, used to be on this car, that we went back to factory, and now we're going back to, I guess, a little bit more horsepower, hopefully. And then up on the bench, we just have a few other bits and pieces. I try to convince him to go black, but he likes the yellow, so we'll stay with that. And then the engine bay is all nice and cleaned up. So after I pulled it out, I gave it a little bit of a clean, polished it up, cleaned out the gearbox because it was full of oil because the rear main was leaking, and then gave the rest of the paint a little bit of a clean up. So now a nice bit of time lapse on this thing, getting its stuff back on. So let's go. Now where, you bastard?
That's
I know.
a bit funny.
There we go. So to make sure that works, you have to make sure... You bastard. No, if you hit the legs, you hear it like all through the recording. It's like... I've tried it before. Okay, so to make sure you get that piece right, you have to get in torch up under there. If I can see, it hits on that case bolt. And you just got to make sure you get that all nice and as tight as possible, and that way you can get that little screw in. And then the same on the other side. Just a little bit of finessing, just makes it cool. Okay, so a little bit of a change because we didn't realise, but this is a 6-volt alternator stand, and just the diameter of the alternator is a little bit different. So that one there doesn't quite fit our 12-volt alternator. So Brod is just cleaning it up, giving it a bit of a tart up. We're gonna paint this piece on his one and clean this up a little bit. So small intermission while we fix technical issues. So while we wait for the new Jenny stand to clean up, just giving the other one a paint. And chuck the exhaust Oh, not that one.
Just went into the end, you didn't.
No, it's too small.
Oh, okay.
Big ones.
Oh yeah, beautiful. That's looking better.
Much better. Alternator and everything else fixed, all bolted down. Carb is on, fuel pump is on. We chucked this one on, fuel hose on because it was already there. Now in the back we're going to finish off the doghouse, put that rear piece of tin in so it can all sit there. It'll have to probably come off after we take it off the stand, but we'll chuck it on for now. And then we might start off on the stand, get it to run just for a little bit, make sure it's all good, time it all up. We'll do the tappets and stuff now as well. And here we go. Doghouse is now on, all looking good. I've now wired it up as well. We're gonna test start it on the stand just to make sure it runs and everything is all good, because it did sound a little bit funny when we ended up last episode. So yeah, just jigged it up. So power wire, coil, I just static timed it with a light, and we've got a fuel jug up on the bench. Should hopefully suck some fuel in. I got some sauce we can put in the top too, and we should be good. So starter motor on the back, everything else looking pretty good. So let's see how this goes. Hold it. Actually, I think I need a screwdriver too. And a key.
Jesus.
You good there, mate? Actually, I did buy some more. Start, you bastard.
I think I opened up way too much, so it's an issue. Mate, let me hold that.
You can hold the key.
You want some earplugs?
No, it should be good this time.
It hasn't opened. No, I guess it's gone through the mufflers.
Okay.
Hey.
He's not timed properly.
Mm.
Okay.
That smells bad.
Smells rich.
Mm.
It might have been
facing the wrong way.
It might have been all that fuel you poured in.
Yeah, it might have been too much.
Okay.
Start light. Test light.
No, I reckon it just. Well, maybe we're 180 out. I don't think we are.
The condenser used to be facing forward though.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm just on the back side of the.
The cap needs to go.
No.
No.
I think I'm just 180 out on the crank.
You're 180 right. Gotcha.
Okay. Oh, get out of there, you little dog. Two. I think we're better off there. Okay. Give that a go.
Alrighty.
A little bit more.
Just hang on 2 seconds. Over again. Oh, that's getting warm.
Is it? Well, that's because it's on constant power.
Right. Yeah, it's live again.
A little bit more.
Other side of that.
Yeah, we'll let the fuel line run into the spinny thing. Still moving?
Yeah, it's bouncing around. I'm gonna put a rag under it instead, hey?
Okay. I think I might.
I think that's gonna hold it in place better than cardboard. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's live, mate.
That is live.
How about we fix that? How's that sound?
Yep, sounds good. I'm glad that didn't hit the fuel that was dripping down the front.
Really?
No, it bounced off that a couple times, I think. Alright, hang on. How the fuck do I balance that?
Maybe just hold it. Maybe not.
No, I don't know, man. I don't really trust it. But maybe that, as long as that doesn't touch the contacts.
Yeah.
Is that fuel?
Make sure that's. Yeah, it must have dribbled out.
Oh yeah, down there. Bugger.
Okay.
Okay, round 3. Whoops, hang on. This one.
Ready, Freddy?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I need to power it on. Almost.
Oh yeah.
Which is a little bit, I think, that way. isn't all this way then.
Retarding it.
Wow.
That was loud.
Oh, I need the key.
Get the key. Yep. I think we need to, yeah, that's hot.
I think we need to call that a day.
I think so.
There we are. She runs. Now it's lunchtime. We're going to go out and get some food. And then when it's cool, we're going to chuck it in.
Nah. Lunchtime.
All the good stuff.
Oh, that one. Oh, crispy.
Oh yeah, you flip those big fellas.
Yeah, buddy.
That's better. Better than that
Pale.
light pale brown we had before. Looks so good.
Look at that.
Okay, I got it down on the ground now, off the engine stand, took all the other little bits and pieces off we used to start it. We've added the rear tin, the rest of the doghouse cooler, flywheel and clutch and everything else. And so she's pretty much ready to go in. So now we've got the Beetle as high as we can on the jack stands, and we're thinking if we get the engine and tip it a little bit, we'll be able to nose the top of the cooler under this and then slide it in and up without having to jack the Beetle up and then drop it back down. So we'll give that a go. If that doesn't work and we're going to scratch it, we'll jack the Beetle up, slide it in and then drop it back down. Okay, so a little bit of stuff up. I forgot to press record of us trying to put the engine in because I moved the camera and it just, I didn't turn it back on. So as Brod and I jiggled it to get it in, we ended up having to jack the car up, slide the engine in, let the car back down onto the jack stands and then jack the engine up and slide it on. It worked out pretty well. We got it in there with little fuss and no scratching of any of the new tinware we put in. We did have a little bit of trouble, as you can see now. I've just put a little bit of a time lapse of us bolting it up and doing all the other little bits and pieces. We did have a little bit of trouble getting the two top bolts in behind the fan shroud because there should have been some little inserts in the case that just take the bolt rather than having to hold the nut on there. But we got it done. It all worked and tightened up really nicely. And then the rest of this is just Brod and I wiring up the rest of the car. So we've pulled the coil and the other box off the shroud where it would normally be in the standard application and put it on the firewall just to keep the engine bay a little bit nicer and cleaner. And I think it looks pretty good, and we didn't have to drill any new holes in the fan shroud. So just here, Brod and I just sorting all those little bits and pieces out and getting it to look nice and pretty. So I think it looks pretty good. It looks much better than it does, sounds better than it does, and hopefully next episode we're going to hear it run and drive, and we're going to take it for a drive. So please stay tuned, please like and subscribe, hit us up with any questions, ask me anything you want, tell me how you're liking it or not. And I'll see you guys again in 2 weeks. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.